that life has been really generous to me with throwing grief and those curveballs. You know, there's some people, now we are homeless.
Hey, people must have been saying, Joe, when you finished all the money.
I know.
How can you not?
Are you living recklessly? Joe, we went on to ask, are you taking offering at this point? Welcome yet again to another episode of the Container Podcast. And this is the place where we get real,
rugged,
and raw. Yeah, so if this is your first time, you're in for a ride. One thing we are unashamed about is that for us, we want to steward godly masculinity. So if this is your thing, if you want to hear stories about manhood and faith, this is where to be. So karibuni, and today I'm joined by my ever-present host, a guy I honor and admire. His name is Kevin Kanyotu. Yes. And this one must have been drum rolls. We have Mr. Joe Matogo. I have so many. I don't know where to start. One, because if anything ever happened to me, first, this is the guy who has the full inside scoop.
Yeah.
You are my armor bearer. They're called pole bearers, just in case I exit this green earth. Joe will be one of those guys who are holding the casket. So I really appreciate and honor the fact that you're here. And he was also my best man. We've gone through a lot with him. And that's why I feel like he's just such a perfect guest to be speaking about today's topic, which we are going to go to later. But before, as usual, what do? We check in. So, let me. I don't know. Well, last time you're the one who checked in. Let me start.
You can start. Let me start us off.
Okay, so what do I bring to the container? So today, I'm excited because I have Joe on the pod. I'm angry. I am excited. I'm happy. Yeah. So let me just say first, happy and excited to have you, Joe. Whether I'm excited. For real. I'm also excited and for just what's happening, especially in the digital world. Because that's my space. As in, there's no better time to build a business like today. You know, with this whole AI and automations game, I promise you, if you activate, if you step in, there's so much you can achieve, and we can leapfrog. You know, I was looking at what we can do as a continent, as Africa. You know, remember the way M-Pesa, we were the first to roll it out, and now it's a whole global phenomenon. So we didn't even go through the era of credit cards. We went straight to mobile phones. Right. There's so much we can leapfrog and get to in terms of solutions if we use AI. And so that makes me excited because of just what we're building and how we're rolling them out with the team. Today, if you haven't heard, I have a cold, but I've just decided to show up because what do we do? Men show up. Men show up. Men show up.
Nijikaza.
Nimejikaza kujileta leo. Angry. I just had a moment with my son. I don't even know where to start. And this guy, he took a blade and he just made a deep cut on our leather seat. Like the whole arm is open and the
insides are out.
The foam is out. And then he came to the office. He's like, I knew he's done something wrong because of the way he just approached me. He's like, Papa, he gave me those eyes. And I know when he's in trouble. I'm like, what is it? I have cut the seat. No, I know when I thought it was just something like on the side. I went, the damage, my friend. I was so upset. I was livid. But then he came and he reported himself. Man, I had to go and process that anger separately. But let me tell you, that child has given me grief and loss. Do you know, the other day, like not a month ago, he shattered the whole back window with a stone. And I'm like, is this the cost of raising a son? But then sometimes I'm just like, I feel like I can ship him.
Say boys will be boys.
But man, I'm still processing that anger because I'm just thinking about how you can't even start reupholstering that seat. Like it's just gone, man. And I loved that seat. Yeah. So that's how I am. That's what I bring to the container. I'm in.
I see you.
I see you.
I see you. Yeah. Well, tender towards that seat, first of all, and towards you. Excited to be here, as always. Hey, Joe, it's good to see you. I'm
good to
excited
see you
to see you.
Yeah.
I'm also excited that I got to spend time with my family today. My sibling, my brother, my sister. We had a good time. We were just going to Shags to check out something. And, we're just going to check out. The way normal guys go on Saturdays to check out plots. Proti.
Yeah.
So we had a nice Thursday drive afternoon to Shags and identifying some plot there that belonged to mom. And it just brought tender memories, and that's memories of her caring, nurturing. The whole plot is full of trees, mature trees, untouched, so it was just such a lovely scene. And just seeing it now with my brother and sis. I'm angry at the situation of this fuel. Man, let me tell you, fuel is expensive. That drive, I felt it. It was probably 100 kilometers.
Yeah.
And to and fro, 200 kilometers, but I felt the car needed that fuel. I felt the pinch. I used to fill the tank with about 7K. It's a small car, and that used to take me for a while. Now I'm filling it with 11K.
That's significant.
It's significant, So I'm angry about this. I don't know. I just hope that state is improved one or the other, even after 1 week. Of being on a break from these strikes, and I'm just happy to hear your story. I'm expecting to hear great things. Your connection with my CEO here, Kenji.
Buona CEO.
Yeah, so just longing to hear the
biggest
stories.
fan.
Yeah, longing to hear the deep stories and the connections you guys had in your story as well. And with that, I am in.
I see you.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be in this space. First of all, I love the raw conversation that we're going to have, and I'm scared. Truly, honestly, I bring into the table my fears. I don't know what's going to come out of this conversation, but I love the fact that we can be raw. For men, it's very hard to be in a space where you can just be yourself. And so for me, I bring in my fear, but I'm also happy. I'm happy and tender towards my family, and notably my kids, my boys. I've got 2 boys, very active boys. So we're raising boys together. I'm tender towards them because these kids, last week, on Thursday, I've been having like a busy week. And so, when I was tucking one of them in, says, Daddy, on Saturday, can we just stay home? Can we have, sandwiches for breakfast, hot dogs for lunch, and pizza for dinner, and then let's just play games. I looked at that boy and I was like, this is just a signal that he's missed me. And so I told him, you know what, Dan, I didn't even have to look at my calendar. And so that's what we did. So we had, sandwiches in the morning for breakfast. We had hot dogs, and then we had homemade pizza.
Wow.
Nice. So it was amazing. Nice. So just to see those kids in that happy state.
Yeah.
It was good. But then, of course, I'm also tender towards them because our help. We had a really good help, and just realized that she had integrity issues, things to do with things getting lost. So we had to let her go. And so we had to have that conversation with the kids. So, you know what, so-and-so is not going to be here, and now they're asking the questions. Why? What did she do? What did she steal?
Yeah.
Hey! And we had to be like really honest. So that conversation, like, it was a teaching moment for just integrity and, upholding your values. Yeah, so yeah, I love those kids. Yeah, and yeah, I bring my whole self, my raw self into this container.
All of you is welcome.
So yo, brace yourself.
All of you is welcome, brother.
Yeah.
See you, man.
And with that, I check in.
I see you. I see you. Awesome. So today's conversation, for those who have already read the title, we're going to be talking about loss, but loss of a dream. Because we've talked about, this series is all about grief. We've been doing a sequel from Pastor Zeph, and we've been looking at grief from just different aspects. Because we mentioned grief is in 3D. Like there are too many facets, because it's our response to loss. It's how do we deal with loss on an everyday life. And so today we're looking at, when you lose a dream, or when you've had a streak of bad luck, kuna se usema ni swara. What happens when you're having a streak of loss? How do we respond to it? And there's also a bit about, as men, we numb our emotions. When you're hit once, and then you're hit again, and then you hit again. So now your body, in fact your mind, because your mind is created to protect and preserve your body at all costs.
That's right.
It's a tool of survival for the human body. So what does it do? It creates numbness.
Goes into safe mode.
It goes to safe mode, exactly. Well said. And it's to protect you, because imagine going through that whole roller coaster of emotions. You're always been hit by loss. You have to grieve. You're mourning. You're feeling that sorrow. You're sad. It can take you into depression. So your mind can create a mechanism to protect you from that. But sometimes if you stay in that space for too long, you could easily turn to, when your emotions don't have a pulse, you move into flatline, and which is very dangerous as a man. So I'm just kind of showing you what the general response can be towards a streak of loss. But of course, I'd like to hear it from you guys, because we're men doing life, and we've been hit by loss a couple of times, right? So Kevin, what has been your story and your experience with a streak of loss?
I think over the years, loss is just part of a man's life, because from every facet of your life. Like for us in business, for me in business, losing to a competitor, losing a pitch, all the way to even losing a staff member, someone you've trained, you've been accustomed to, you spend hours together, you huddle with the clients together, and they just come and tell you, I'm upon a better place. You grieve and you start asking questions. Am I not good enough as an employer and all that? To more serious ones, which of late for me, I think it's because of my season of life, the sandwich generation of taking care of younger children, your family, your spouse, to your parents, and just having I think the last 2 years, 2024 to 2025, I think we lost a parent. For me, I lost both parents in the last 2 years, but I lost a parent to my close friends, probably 10 different cases.
What?
So almost every month, like from last January, I lost a grandmother, then my wife lost her brother, and then our close friends, lost her father, then, same circle of friends, maybe 5 couples who we meet quite often, we had 2 mothers pass on. So in 1 year, we went for funerals. And I was like, why is this happening? You know, at some point you just ask yourself, is this real? Is there something that happened?
Yeah.
That there's something in the air that is triggering these deaths?
Yeah.
Is there a conspiracy, theory over here that is making people die at a rate which you don't understand? And then you just realize, but it's that season. And then, one day we just sat down with one of my friends who lost his mom, and you're thinking, oh, so the guy is between 1940 and 1949 born.
Yeah.
That's where our parents are, because now we started doing a checklist.
Yeah.
Right.
And we just found that it was actually just aging. Just aging. As this time has reached, the word of God talks about 70 years thereafter, those are bonus years. So these are people who are in theirs between 70 and 80, 85. Yeah, so I think for me, Kenji, that's been the troubling thing last year, just losing every month, going for a funeral. You're always in a WhatsApp group, raising money. And at some point you wonder, should I be numb to this season? Or should I show up for this person and actually connect with them in that loss? So there's a fine, thin line over there where you're thinking, I want to move on with life, but hey, these guys also showed up for me. I need to be there for them. So that whole thing of showing up for people in their grief reawakens grief for you.
That's true.
Many times.
Because I've witnessed you guys, you and Shiko going for so many burials. Like every time I'm hollering, you guys are on the road going to a burial. You're in these WhatsApp groups. But that can be exhausting. But would you say that you've experienced that emotional numbing? When you hear another parent has gone, does it even faze you anymore? You're like, another one.
I think that now that's the dangerous thing of fine, yes, we all know that that's the trajectory. That's the route we are all going to go. Kila mtu anaelekea huko. But the thing is also just saying, hey, can we have a break? I think there's that thing that comes to your mind, and then maybe you alluded to it earlier, the body just reacting and saying, I need to block off this grief. I've had enough. Can it be something else? In fact, the other day we were with you at a wedding.
Yeah.
And we were just saying, it's been long since you've been at a wedding. All the functions you've been to is either a loss, it's just something dramatic and negative, dark. So I would say that numbing is easy to get there because you block yourself to the fact that by me showing up for this friend who has lost a loved one, that I reawaken a space where I was in a year ago when I lost my own loved one. And I feel like there's selfishness around that. I think life is about just doing life together with your friends. When you say this guy is your pallbearer, if Joe is your pallbearer, how would you feel, how would his wife feel that you didn't show up for Joe if Joe is not there? Yet you used to claim that you're a pallbearer. So I think that thing kind of stirs me. It kind of just gives you a check of hey guy, these guys showed up for you. They had time. They made time to be present. They didn't say anything, but just by seeing them in the congregation, I knew this person matters. I matter to them as well. So I need to reciprocate. And I think it's just that thing of you don't need to really work too much. Just show up. You might be sitting in your own grief and wallowing in your own grief by showing up, but you don't have to speak. But that person seeing you there means a lot. It just means that there's a support, there's a spinal cord that is not broken. And I those are the moments I really treasure when when someone just says, oh, guy, I was so busy, caught up in the arrangements of the funeral, but I saw you. I saw you. I thank you for turning up. You did not talk. He didn't even talk to you. But I feel so comforted that, he saw me showing up for him. And he was also comforted. That's how I usually feel with these things.
I think we need to get to where we discuss how to show up for a grieving person. Like I feel like we have not exhausted that topic, because sometimes it can feel very awkward for people to show up for people who are grieving, especially grieving a lost marriage. That's a divorce. People look at them as, they've caught a plague and they scatter, they don't know what to say, or they're ChatGPTing responses for their loss. And I feel like we need to also train ourselves into how to show up for people when they're grieving, right? So let me turn to my left.
First of all,
my G. My G. Hey, tell us. And you can take us way back.
The interesting thing about life, Now, where do you even start? For me, I say this, that life has been really generous to me with throwing grief and those curveballs. There's some people you look at
I'm not checking, but it's because I actually identify, because I've watched you walk it.
Because there are experiences that for some people you can just look at this experience, you say, this one I brought it up for myself, this one I orchestrated it, I am the actor and I am the partaker of the grief. But for me, I feel like since when? 2015. I can, as far as 2015 I remember, that's when it started with you mentioned, Kevin, you mentioned about losing a tender, losing your business, biashara, it goes to your competitor. So me, it started like that. Okay, so business was doing good, and now I realize that I'm losing my tenders, my businesses, to guys who are coming to, they pay something and they get the job. So now I can't compete with that. And so I lost like really big businesses to the point where I wasn't even able to, to pay the rent. So we moved from back 2015, we used to live in South Sea.
I
remember like a house. It was
very dope.
It was dope, right? And to a point where I just told wifey, now we can't meet this rent. So what do we do? Because there's no money coming. So what do we do? So ideally, when there's no money coming in, wisdom states that you cut down your lifestyle, right? And so now I go online. I go, those sites for looking for houses. I see a very nice house, nearly 10K. I'm showing my feel like, hey, look at this house. Where is it? Ronga. And so I told her, we have to do this. We have to cut down our life. First of all, we sold our car, and we told her, you know what? Let's just hit the reset button, and that's what we did. So we went to see the house. 3/4 of our stuff couldn't fit in that house. And so we had to put our stuff in storage. And it was just this one small, like a cottage, a 1-bedroom. And we were like, now this is where we're going to reset our lives. And so we got in there. I think two months in, we couldn't even afford that. Cash. We couldn't afford rent. Because now we didn't want to be locked. So what did we do? We chukwad our stuff, put everything on storage, and there we were. We were homeless. We were literally homeless. Now, how do you even tell Famo? They will never understand. Like your boys, Nini, they won't understand that you're in a space like, we know Joe, we know like this guy for biashara, but how is it that, first of all, we had gone even for holiday. We're going to the US for holiday, coming back. Like it was just a dip of everything.
Was this before you guys went to the US or after?
So we're gone to the US for vacation.
Oh my God.
Okay. This is not the time you guys relocate.
We just went summertime.
Right.
Yeah, because I know like business was good, So we come back and everything tanks completely in a period of like 5-6 months. And so we're not able to meet our costs because of course that whole trip took a lot of money and stuff. And so we come into this space. Now we are homeless.
Hey, people must have been saying, Job, when you finished all the money.
I know.
How can you not?
Are you living recklessly?
How can you live?
Yeah.
All the money was in the US. You invested it in the US.
You guy. And so
that is a prejudice. And that's what men and women think at that time.
They do. But it was like a downward slope like this. Because biashara doesn't like just go down like. So there was like a curve. It was a gentle curve on the way down.
Okay.
And so we got into that space, and now even our farmers didn't know. So we used to go to my sister's place, spend like 2 weeks and stuff like that. And then I remember, I think after a month or two, we asked ourselves, by the way, we don't even have to live in Nairobi. Like, we can thrive anywhere else.
Yeah.
So what do? We decide we're going to go into the States, back to the States. Get into school, get jobos, and just move. Just chase the American dream. At that point, for me, it was like, yes, we are down, but we are not out. Like for a man, when you go down, when you're met with, I like what you said. These, like, you go down, but life keeps hammering you, like tap, tap, tap. So for us, before I actually went down, when this place, we're optimistic, we're like, we are young people, we have got connections. And so in a period of I think 2-3 weeks, we sold everything, got a ticket, one-way ticket into the US.
One-way ticket.
One-way ticket into the US. So we get into the US. We know why we are here. Now we are not here for vacation. So we get into school.
Yeah.
We get accepted in school, and then now we start the hustle.
How did you afford the school?
So what happened? That's a very nice question. So my wife got a very prestigious scholarship.
Wow.
Ooh.
It was like she was the only African who got that scholarship, and they said they're going to give her everything. They're going to, in fact, she had a work study. So instead of her paying school fees, she was being paid. It was a work study. And so forth, like, hey, Maze.
She was being paid.
Yes, she was being paid.
And of course, she comes with her spouse.
Okay, so we were already in the States.
Okay.
We were already in the States. Yeah, when she got that scholarship. So me, I also get into uni. So of course, I was already passionate about couples.
Yeah.
So I was going to do marriage and family therapy. I was like, yes. Now we had a 5-year plan. Guys, I kid you not, 5-year plan. This is what we're going to do. Finish school, get jobos, after a while, and then go back home and start a family. And so that was like, 2017, when the Prezo was being first, Trump into power.
Yeah.
And so my wife says, I want to come into Kenya for a wedding. And I was telling her, okay, fine. So 3 weeks, Nini. So you go. You'll find me moving closer to the school. So we were supposed to move up north. We were in Massachusetts. So up north of Boston, so we can be able to now start our lives. Lo and behold, guys.
Tell us.
So she goes for the wedding. So she was told by the school, now just pitia through embassy. Let them just now give you like a permanent student status. It was just like a formality thing. And so she goes into this space and she's denied. She's told she can't come into the US.
Oh man.
My guy. We don't have a life in Kenya. We've told guys, cheers. So us guys, we're going to, greener pastures. So she can't come into the US. Me, I'm on this side. Like, we have plans. We had a car, I had a job and all that stuff. And so what do you do? So now this 5-year plan, this career, our studies, everything came to a screeching halt. We tried getting her into the US again, but I just said, you know what? Let me just go back home. So
Home is best.
So see, I come back home to meet her.
Yeah.
Reset number 2. Now we're coming home, starting again.
Starting.
Again.
First I just hope someone in that US embassy watches this and sees what grief they cause people, because I've also been denied a visa, and let me tell you, I kind of get the roller coaster, but you had family on the other side. It's even worse, because now it's like this thing has put you asunder.
Yeah.
Like it's almost separating the family.
No, it almost was, because now my pals on this other side, because I'd made friends, I'd made a network of, because I used to work in a hospital doing auditing their reports. And so this guy is like, okay, I hear you. Wifey can't come back. But why don't you stay here 7-8 months, build some nice cash, go home and start vizuri. But on this other side, my wife needs me. She's going through depression. I'm like, for what?
That's a major blow.
And at the end of the day, we are guided by the principles that we live by. And so us guys, we said, what, for better or for worse. And so I had to honor the vow.
Absolutely.
I told them, what? I'm dropping everything and I'm coming back to Kenya. I didn't even sell the car. By there I went and I packed it vizuri, got the essentials in 2 suitcases, I think 3 suitcases, came back into Kenya. But the beauty is that now we had saved. The beauty is that when you go through hardships, you become wiser. So us guys used to live on 1 salo. So we come into Kenya, at least we had a good saving. So I I came into Kenya, and then, so now just trying to find out, okay, what's next? What do we do? 5, 6, 7, 10 days. First of all, the 9th day I speak to my pops. He's like, oh, hey, I hear you're back. Okay, fine. Day number 10, he passes on.
Oh, man.
So now,
just barely 2 weeks.
Barely 2 weeks.
From you coming back.
He wasn't sick. He just had a heart attack. And that was it. So now I'm here. First of all, now we're just back. We're grieving. We're grieving the loss of a career. We're grieving the loss of dream. And now we are actually grieving the loss of a parent. And that was really hard for us. And so in this space, so we have to really, it's like juggle the grief. So I remember 2017 was the hardest year of our lives. It was hard, especially as a man, because, grief hits very differently. I don't know about you guys, but as a guy, I feel like we take it very differently, because for me, it was loss of a parent, grief, loss of a dream translates into failure. I failed. Now I'm back to square one. 3 years later, I'm back to square one. What do I do? And so it was really hard for us. And so just fast forward, that was 2017. And the thing about, I didn't know how hard this thing hit. Because I was like, what, as men, you say, let's just pick ourselves up. Let's pick ourselves up. Let's go back into business and that kind of thing. So we went back into business, and things were not flowing as much, but we could put food on the table. The issue here was not now money in a sense. So that's 2017, 2018, 2019, all the way up to 2020. It was just survival mode. Now here's the thing, is that as a man, I went through this streak of loss and grief in 2017. It affected 18, 19, 20, almost 3.5 years of just cruise. You just eka cruise control. You don't want to face what is inside. Now, I come back into the country. I had really high hopes. You know what? Those guys in the States are saying, hey, you go back. We got you. We're going to support you. We're going to hook you up with biashara, nini, whatever it is. And then, so I came very hopeful that, you know what? I have people around me. They're going to help me.
Yeah.
You guys, everything turned quiet. I didn't have the brothers that I thought I had. Everything was quiet. And so now I'm grieving relationship.
Wow.
I'm grieving my relationships. You know.
Relationships now with your peers, your boys.
Yes, my boys. And those now guys in the States, they say, okay, we're gonna be here for you. You guys, we're going to hold you. And then you realize that, you know how the Bible says that, you know, cursed is a man who puts his trust in a man. That's what I did. That's what I did. And I was so hopeful and I was so heartbroken. And so I remember times when I used to take a walk, because, you know, it's so much. You just take a walk and you're walking into nowhere. And you're just walking and I'm asking myself, like, what's going on? Like, where did I go wrong? And I have so many questions. I'm mad at God. And I'm like, God, where are you? You know?
Yeah, things were seemingly very
it
good.
It was really hard.
It just slowed down to a halt.
Yeah.
And you know, Joe, when you talk about that story, I remember, because I'm trying to remember where I was, because when you came back, I know we spoke briefly, but, you know, I'm part of those friends that didn't show up.
Yeah.
And actually, till date, I know we've had this conversation with you, and let me just publicly ask even for your apologies. I know a lot of those, I don't give excuses. I had a lot going on. It was the year of my marriage. I was getting married. And this guy showed up for us. In spite of grief, in spite of all that loss, he still decided to be my best man, and he came forward and he really supported us. But during that time of loss, like, we were so consumed in our world as your friends, as your boys, that we kind of left him to fight it out. Only now when he's coming out is now when we're almost rallying back around you. And I am just so sad about that season. With Joe, it's one of the seasons in our friendship, I beat myself down. I say I was not a good friend. I could have done much better. But I know you'll forgive me.
True. I mean, we didn't know better. Like, I had to be in that space of dealing with that, because for me it looked like it was almost betrayal. You know, people we did life with.
Imagine.
And I'm like, how can you not be there for me at my hardest points in life, at my darkest years? And so I had to process that with myself and say, you know what, these guys didn't know any better.
True that.
You know, I don't know, you guys have gone through grief, and the people around you can empathize with what you're going through, but they don't really know
exactly
how it feels until, because you know Kev, you were talking about you know, having a series of burials and losing people and losing a parent. I can empathize with you because I've also lost a parent. You know, unless I have walked a mile in your shoes, I can never actually know what it feels like. And so for me, I was like, you know what, you guys didn't know any better. You didn't know any better. But now we are better. Now we are wiser.
You're wiser,
and we're better, right? Yeah, so don't beat yourself. I forgive you.
I'm actually relieved, and I don't give it a free pass, because a lot of times we wave that card of busyness, where we get consumed by things that really don't matter. The things that matter is when your person is going through the ringer. That's when you need to show up for them. Like, put aside what you're going through. It's, I mean, you can deal with that with God, but you said the importance of seeing someone. You might not say much, but just being there for you. Just the ministry of presence. It changes the whole dynamic. And it takes you deeper in your relationship and your friendship.
That's right.
So let's not also give free passes, because we also need men to be more active than passive, and to sacrifice, to put their interests aside and think about this friendship, because it's an investment.
That's true.
Yeah. So Joe,
that is commendable.
Yeah.
And I'll probably even just add and say, you know, at times today we're just sitting down with my siblings, having lunch, and you are just sitting and realizing, oh, guys, do you realize now we are talking about succession as orphans? Not as one parent went. That was a few months ago. One parent was there. And now it is, guys, we are the ones. There is no parent. We are the parents. We are now, there's no sandwich. You know what I mean? It's now, what do you call up a sandwich? Yeah, it's, the other side is gone. So now it's you guys and the people under you. And just realizing that, as Joe was saying, Kenji, that it's a graceful journey, because we need to accept that I don't know what you're going through. But nevertheless, in my silence of being there, just to find out how are you, you know, a question like that, how are you really doing? I don't know. I don't want to pretend that I have lost. I feel what you're feeling. How are you doing? I would like to know. Almost like you're almost begging for information. Like, I care for you. I want to know how you're doing. And I think we also have the onus on our part as those who are grieving, to be truthful with that question. So that the other person can then understand and know. Because at times you already have the wall in your mind. You're like, this girl will not understand. Even if I tell him, he'll not even help me. Kwani, who does he think he is? But, what will he do to help me? I think just being gracious to that person and saying, oh, he wants to know. Let me just share with them. I think that permission of allowing yourself to talk through a grieving season to someone who has not lived it is grace in itself. And it teaches the other person to know what to, or how to treat you. How to treat someone else who has gone through the same thing. And I think Kenji was actually sharing this last time when about now the loss of a child, and he shared about a story. Remember about this lady who had lost the baby,
our caretaker.
Caretaker. And the girl was like, usijali, unaweza jaribu tena. You know, that his awareness today is that it was very insensitive. But then, you didn't know.
I didn't know.
I mean, you just,
it's true. I didn't know
actually
better.
Caring. Yeah, you didn't know better.
It came from a good place.
It came from a good place. But at that time, I'm sure we were just wondering, how did she take it? You know, and probably she gave herself grace and said, maybe, he's a man, he doesn't know. Let me just say, okay, thank you.
That's true. And I don't know how, Joe, you, in that season, you would have wanted people to show up for you. Look, in hindsight, there's so much that was happening, literally from every corner, and you are just getting blows. How would support look like for you?
I think for me, if I went through that, or if a brother goes through that, I have had an opportunity to be there for a brother, and they lost their dad, and you know, it was a long illness, and they'd seen it coming in a sense. And for me, I couldn't put I was empathetic to him, because you know, I've also lost a parent. So what I chose to do, don't even ask the questions. So I told him, hey, Maze, where are you? He says, I'm at home. So I just told him, you know what, I'll drive you around. I'll just drive you. I won't ask questions. I'm just going to be there for you. And so for me, I just took the whole day to just, you know, drive him around, go clear things here and there, you know, choose coffins and that. But I was just there, silent. I wasn't offering any advice or just telling him it's going to be okay. So there's something that I call the ministry of presence, you know, just the ministry of presence. that for me goes a long way, because nobody can understand the level of grief that you're going through in that season.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, ministry of presence, I think that's enough. Yeah. Don't have to say anything. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've also heard you say the acts of service as well.
Yeah, acts of service.
So
yeah.
as much as you're there, like, try and lighten the load. Try and what can you do to support in terms of what activity can you do to alleviate their pressure? Maybe because they have to sort a lot of things out. Yeah. So, and how did you come out of this?
Yeah, that's a good question, because before coming out, when an earthquake hits and the epicenter, like, it shakes and then guys are shaken, but what happens is the after effects of the earthquake. That is what is deadly, in my opinion, because what happens to life after say, for example, when a loved one dies, people are there for you, nini, but after that coffin goes down and it's covered, that is when now life happens. And so for me, 2017 was that space where there were so many blows, okay, but with time it's almost like a wound. Like when you're hit in a sense, like you have internal injury. What happens is that the wound, in a sense, it heals from the surface. It heals from the surface, but deep down inside, there were things that I didn't deal with. And so what happened, it started having an effect in my marriage. Okay, effects of 2017 all the way to 2020. So my marriage was in the rocks, like it was. We were shaken. And in that space, I was, asking God, I don't want to lose my marriage.
Did you have any kids yet?
No, we didn't have kids yet. And so I remember a time just going to wifey, because she doesn't understand how to deal with this man, because this man has gone into safe mode. Okay? It's just a functional guy. Not trying too much, okay? Because now you've been beat down. It's just really being in that space of, let's just live a day at a time. So you're not trying too much. She's like, this is not the guy that I married. You've become this guy who's not motivated, who's not going out there, and you just here doing bare minimums. And for that place, I got into that space because now that was my valley. That was my valley. The events of 2017 were ushering me into a valley where I had to deal with self. And in that valley, when it's a valley of death, things die. And I believe that even marriages die, relationships die. That's where even men get divorced, right? Because they can't really handle what's going on inside. And so for me, it was really hard. I remember having a conversation with wifey, and to that place when I recognized that I'm not in a good space. And I told her, babes, I know your patience for me is running out. And I just need you to hold on. I'm working on me. And my wife she was at the edge of calling it quits. And so I remember going to meet one of our mentors, and the lady just threw in a question, and she asked, "Tell me about 2017, and just tell me about it." And then she asked, "Did you ever deal with that?" This is 2020. This is like 4 years later. Did you ever deal with that? And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, we just, I thought, like, yeah, I forgave her. No, she asked, did you ever forgive your wife? Because I know at some point I was like, I think we should stay. And I hadn't dealt with that which was inside. And so I had to open the can of worms of 2017 and just deal with that, deal with the anger, deal with the loss of a career, deal with the shame.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, for a man, okay, let me speak for myself because when I think about my dad's death, I got through that well because I knew he's gone, but I couldn't get through the fact that, I'm failing. As a man, I'm failing. I mean, this grief is tied down to my identity. As a man, my marriage is on the rocks and my wife doesn't even understand what's going on with this guy. And so for me, I was like, I'm failing. And so that failure, that grief tied into failure was just a recipe for disaster. Yeah, so I had to unpack. And by God's grace, guys, I don't take it lightly, by God's grace.
Yeah.
I remember having, down on my knees and telling God, man, something has to give. And I remember God telling me, whispering to me and telling me, your marriage is going to be intact. Your marriage is not going to end. And for me, that was blessed assurance. So I told God, deal with me. Deal with me how you want to deal with me. My marriage is intact. So that gave me such assurance. So I mean, God can be, you should take God in that space of darkness, because he says, even though you walk in the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil, because I'm going to be with you. I tell people that when you walk, the Bible says, when you walk through the fire, who walks through the fire? You want to run, right? You just want to get this over and done with. So I had to do a lot of reflection, a lot of surrender, because now God was calling me into ministry. So
is that a podcast for another day? Because
That's another banner. That's another chapter.
So listen to this, So as I look at it now right now in hindsight, I look at it that I had to be in a space of death. Death, surrender. Like, you know what? Until, the Bible says a kernel of wheat goes to the ground and dies. Now it comes alive.
Imagine.
So now that's how I got off the pit. God gave me hope, gave me meaning, and then called me into ministry. Called me into ministry. It called me into ministry. I was refusing. Like, I was in that space. You know what? A man has to be that provider. I was still sticking to my grief. And it's funny when you're trying to operate from a place of grief. You don't see, you're hazy. It's
but everyone else sees.
But
you can't see how you're showing up.
Can you imagine trying to, you're grieving, but you're trying to, go out there and you're still not putting your best foot forward because you haven't dealt with what is inside. So I had to deal with that. It was ugly, but we're here. And this now, a new version of me came out in 2020. New meaning towards life, new perspective. My marriage was stronger. And so
that is so amazing. I mean, it's that question that you asked, whether how was 2017?
Did you deal
with that?
2017?
I think there's a lot of men, including myself, who carry things. We carry things, and we don't know how to move forward with them. So we kind of put it and pack it. Somewhere we're not dealing with it, and then because of the emotions of life presents other things, and you move without actually going back to deal with this issue. And I'm just thinking that there could be so many men. I know there's a program that we all do, the Crucible Project, where it helps us go and deal with certain events that may have shaped certain messages or certain attributions in the way we show up in life. And it affects the relationships that we have around us, including now your marriage. And so I just feel like at this point it would be good to, I don't know, if someone doesn't have that mentor, what is one tool they can use, or what is it that they can do to see that if there's something maybe that I need to go back and brush and clean up, I don't know what that would be. Would you have an idea?
Well, so for me, it starts first with self.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you look at the man in the mirror and you look straight up at the man in the mirror, you're not trying to put any shows and you just confront self. Because many people say that, you know, you could be having mentors, but they're not helping you in as much because you're not opening up, or you haven't looked down deep inside yourself to acknowledge the fact that I'm grieving. I can't do it by myself. You know, there's a saying that goes that no man is an island.
Yeah.
Until you acknowledge that you need help, until you acknowledge that I'm beat, I'm rock bottom.
Yeah.
Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I need help.
Yeah.
And let me say this, contrary to what men think, is that there is a lot of help out here.
That's true.
A lot of it.
If they're willing to seek
If
for
they're
it.
willing to
Yeah.
seek for it. And, you know, it's just that, you know, men don't know how to grieve. Men grieve, but they don't know how, let me say it, how to grieve healthily.
Yeah.
They grieve by coping. You know, so look, you know, what's my you know, preferred coping mechanism, you know, but that's not grieving. That's coping. Yeah. And so for me, I look back at 2017, those years with such fondness because they grounded me as a man. They did ground me as a man because my values, my faith, and because I looked deep down inside, I was able to tell a man, hey, I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well. Yeah. So that question they asked pointed deep down inside, but I could have chosen not to look inside. Then I would still be, you know, walking with a limp. Yeah.
Powerful. Let me,
sharing,
man. Joe, man.
Yeah.
I think, you know, every time I have interactions with you, and especially lately, I've just seen how life has seasoned you. You know, every time I keep saying, "Hey, bro, yeah, you carry so much wisdom, and you're dropping gems upon gems."
Yeah.
But it's what you said. Like, you literally had to die
Yeah.
for you to rise again and
Yeah.
be a different man.
Yeah.
And so I honor you for that.
Yeah.
And I love you, my brother.
I love you too, bro.
Awesome. So now, Joe, we're moving to, and yet we call it an intrusive session, but
Okay.
this is the container. And I like this guy because he gets us to reflect.
Yeah.
And as men, we don't sometimes pause to look and reflect. And we get valuable lessons from reflection. So I want to do the honors of starting us off, and it's a quick fire, meaning we do not have to over-explain.
Yeah.
But feel free to contribute or to chime in if you feel that there's something that you can add as value. This is a long one. So, when your work, calling, or sense of direction was shaken, where did that hit you deepest? When your work, your calling, your sense of direction was shaken, where did that hit you deepest? I think this one has to be definitely my confidence. I think that's the first place that it hits, because it touches on my capability and my ability.
Yeah.
And sometimes, let me just say, as it is, that's what gives us value. We shouldn't ascribe to it, but that's what gives me value as a man.
Sure.
But the time I'm coming across to someone else and you know, trying to offer something valuable, I feel confident that I can deliver. And so whenever I get a hit, The first place that shakes is my confidence, for sure. Yeah. In my calling, my work, and my
Confidence.
sense of direction. Yeah. Is it for you guys, is it for it looks like maybe your faith?
Actually, it's confidence.
Okay.
It's confidence, and it hits you because a man who's not confident, it shakes everything else.
Yeah.
When you're confident, you go out there.
That's
You
true.
bring your
It's
whole
true.
self.
You conquer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's confidence, self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
Connected
ties
to that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
ties to self-esteem. All right.
Joe, go next.
Joe.
All right. Hey, these ones, eh?
We haven't even explained the mirror card, but you wouldn't need it. The way you've started us off, I don't think you need it.
He's on point, man.
Hey. In seasons where doors kept closing, what did that do to the way you spoke to yourself when no one was around? Hey, this one was for
Interesting.
desperation. I was desperate. The thing about being sitting alone is that you become so desperate because now you don't have anything that you don't have any distractions. I used to have distractions when I go through something. I look for a distraction, but in these times when when the doors kept closing, how I spoke to myself was like, God, you have to help me. By myself, I can't come out of this space.
Yeah.
So I was so desperate to the point where I just had to look up to God. I had to. This one is, I remember. Hey, I remember crying those walks. Hey, God, my marriage. God, what do I do? I'm failing as a man. So they brought me to desperation for God to move. Yeah.
Wow. That was not an easy question to answer. And by the way, Joe, so that you know, Kenji and I don't even know the questions that we are picking. We don't set these questions.
Yeah, we don't see them.
There's someone else,
Somebody's
a superstar
cooking,
somewhere
eh?
who cooks these questions for us.
Yeah.
So we are as surprised as you are when you read.
Yeah.
And, all right, so here we go. Looking back now, what truth was forged in you through loss that you probably would not have learned in any other way? Yeah, that's a tough one, eh?
Yeah.
So I think for me, the issue of preparing for death,
Yeah.
preparing your loved ones for death, whether you see it coming or not.
Yeah.
I think for me, when people see death coming, either like for my mom who was in a terminal disease and she knew, there's a clock,
Yeah.
a disease with no cure, is when she seemingly said, seeing that, oh yeah, we need to put this in order, we need to do this, we need to start releasing this and that. But in the event where my dad passed on, we did not see it coming.
Yeah.
We thought that, rushing him to hospital after a certain attack, after 1-2 days he'll be back. Yeah. But we were not prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going through now this season, even today,
Yeah.
I was just telling my siblings, by the way, I think it would be good to make sure that your children know everything about you.
Yeah.
Everything that there is for them to know, share it with them as early as possible.
Yeah.
Simple things like, guys, come and see where I bought my first plot, or where I went to high school, where I went to school. What is it that you wanted to know that you have been thinking of asking and I've never told you? Having those kind of conversations. So preparation is not necessarily getting a will done.
Yeah.
For me, it's an issue of one day I'll be out and I don't know how I am preparing these people who are my loved ones for that without necessarily telling them, guys, I'm going one day, but just sharing as much and preparing them as much in that if the Lord decides to take you today, it's okay.
Yeah.
You have done your part.
Yeah.
So I think the lesson for me is just don't procrastinate. If the opportunity comes to share anything that comes to mind and the Lord has brought something to your heart, don't say, I'll share it tomorrow. Share it today with your children, with your spouse, with your friends, with your siblings, with your mom, pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak.
Yeah.
Ikutoke. Yeah. Share. Ikutoke.
Just to say that, I mean, that's so profound.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was actually having a conversation with my wife, and many times we look at life as one more day. I've got like two more days to hit a deadline. And many times we look at life as that, another day. But my perspective changed when I look at life as one less day. It's a less day to live. And so how I look at, I put my kids to sleep, and like, this is one less night with, putting these kids to sleep.
It's a countdown.
And this countdown thing makes you really become very deliberate in what you do. Spend time with, do those rounds. One less day of road trips. And so it changes your perspective, because isn't that what the Bible says, that teach us how to number our days.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that we can have wisdom.
Yeah.
Many times we think that we are here for a long time, right?
Yes.
But as you said, your pops,
Yeah.
he just
Yeah.
went,
Yeah.
and we thought he's gonna be here with them. And so that's a shift for me. It was a shift for me, and now to live more intentionally. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That was the round of the container questions. I just like, as we are wrapping up, just real quick, what's your one word and one truth? Like, from this whole conversation, a lot has been discussed. We've learned a lot. What's the first? How would you coin that truth into one word? And for me, it's just what you said about how do I coin this into a word? But you said, like, a seed must die for it to multiply.
Yeah.
That is powerful. That process of dying, man, no one likes it. But when you look at it holistically, I believe it's for the greater good. So I'll take multiply as my one word. Yeah.
I think for me, my one word or two words would be that you need to be broken to build others. Brokenness equips you for yourself. Like the way David, I like the way you've said it, David, speaking to your own soul,
Yes.
broken soul. Well, that broken soul can be used by the Lord
Yes.
to mend others.
Yes.
Being available to Him to use your broken self to build others. Broken self, building others.
Building others.
And
Wow.
that's not one word, but it's okay.
I'm looking for.
I was trying to look for one word, but I can't.
I don't know if I can look for a word, but for me, the main essence of my encouragement is that there is a way out. There is a way out. When you're in the dungeons, and in your mind you can't see a way out, but for somebody watching, understand this, that there is a way out, and you're gonna come out of it.
Yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. They say that the darkest night is before what?
Dawn.
The dawn. Yeah, it gets dark, but light is coming. There is light, and there's hope.
There's light and there's hope.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
One word is difficult.
One word is hard.
With this tough a vulnerable man who was just shared
I
this
know.
deeply.
Joe, we went on to ask, are you taking offering at this point?
We're of service.
You're of
Of
service.
service to the body of Christ.
Absolutely.
You know, iron builds iron. Iron sharpens iron. Right.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yes.
Joe. We're so honored to have you on this podcast.
A pleasure.
I'm just thinking, if there's a guy out there who's watching this is what the container is about, just sharing authentic conversations. And we don't live in a vacuum. We don't live in an island. We can learn from each other, and from us sharing these stories, it's only to give you a glimpse of what this journey of manhood can be, and to encourage yourself in the Lord. And I just want to say, subscribe and share it with someone
Like, share, subscribe.
who you care about. Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Peace.